What is going on, guys? Johnny on the track here. I look like crap, honestly. I took like a long nap. I feel like crap. I did a video earlier this week and I was losing my voice. I still don't have my voice really, and now I'm sick. Um, but I'm still here. I'm still gonna do this video, and I'm actually really excited to do this video. So as many of you guys know and follow, we do the best bets and drivers to watch for all the NASCAR races, all the NASCAR Cup Series races. It's been getting tons of steam, really good views, good engagements. People are always commenting, and so I thought, you know what, I got to take this a step farther. Um, let's get into F1 because I watch a lot of F1. I bet weekly on F1. And I noticed that the F1, I don't know, community, I guess, betting community is not as strong, I feel like, from what I have seen as the NASCAR betting community. This is not just for betting as well. Like, it's best bets, it's drivers to watch, but it's for fantasy too. I know a lot of you guys play fantasy and pick different guys. So whatever you're doing, if you're doing a pool, if you're betting, if you're doing fantasy, whatever it is, I'm just here to give you what I think are the best picks. So with that, I am now doing this for Formula One best bets and drivers to watch for this weekend at Azerbaijan, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix at the Baku City Circuit. So this actually, if you remember last year, was one of the craziest races of the season. Verstappen blew a tire close to the end of the race. And Hamilton, I think that was like a late restart. Just his car, wasn't there at the end. So both those two championship contenders had incidents. In the top three finished Sergio Perez, Sebastian Vettel, and Pierre Gasly was on the podium, and Charles Leclerc was fourth. So one of the craziest races definitely last year. And I don't know. I'm honestly expecting something quite different. Last year, the fastest lap was ran by Max Verstappen. I think for most of the race, a lot of people thought Max was going to win this thing, and sure enough, we saw what happened at the end. Another interesting stat about this track is every year there's actually been a new winner. So I think that will play into. I like to go by history. I like to look at that, and that always does play a factor. Whether it's I guess you could say fate or not, right? Does it have anything to do with statistics and whatnot? No, not always, but you have to check history, right? And history seems to repeat itself quite a bit. So new winner every year. So I think that might play into what I'm thinking here. So with that, I definitely in terms of winners, I'm gonna take the easy way out, which is I think either Max or Charles is gonna win this thing. I'm leaning more towards Max, just because I think he'll come in here with a little bit of revenge on his mind. Was having a great race and then had that issue. Probably should have won that thing. Had the fastest lap. So I feel like here Verstappen is going to take this thing, but let's not forget, Charles Leclerc was on the pole last year to start this thing. So if he can have another good run and he's on the pole, well, I think we got to take that into consideration as well. Now, the easy thing about betting on, F1 most of the time, especially this year, you have a pretty good chance on hitting the winner. Most of the time, if you bet from what it seems like this year on Max or Leclerc, you're going to win some money. It's just more of who are you putting the bigger money on. I think this week it should be on Max. But that's not it, right? It's not just who you think is going to win, because a lot of in NASCAR, the difference is, you hit on a guy that wins and it's plus 1,000, right? Well, Max Verstappen comes in as I think minus 125, and then I think Charles Leclerc is like plus 120. So that's not where you're going to hit. It's going to be these other bets. So I have three Well, 3 drivers, I think 4 actual bets. So the first additional bet that I'm going to tell you to look at is Yuki Sonoda top 10. So right now that is plus money. I think it's plus 125 on DraftKings. And he finished 7th here last year, started 7th on the grid, was one of his best races. I think that was his second best overall finish. I believe the last race of the season, Sonoda finished 6th. But I look at Yuki, like I said, started well on the grid last year, had a good run. I know the race was hectic and chaotic, but he's finished top 10 in half the races this year. And I think this is a track that will suit him well. And I think for plus money, you definitely got to take a look at a Yuki top 10. So that's the first one I'm looking at. The second one is a Sergio Perez podium. He comes off a win last time out, I think now 2 weeks ago. He won here last year. So I'm just looking at momentum. He's coming to a track where, he got one of his only career wins at, coming off a win in his last time out. I think momentum stays where it is. And I think Sergio gets on the podium, probably finishes 3rd, if I had to guess. So there it is, Sergio, a podium. And then the last one, which I actually think is where you could really, really hit on. And this one's going to be tough, but it's Sebastian Vettel top 6 and top 10. So the top 10 comes in at plus 125. The top 6 comes in at plus 1100 right now on DraftKings. A very, very favorable track for Sebastian. He has an average finish here of just over 3. His best finish this year is 8th. So obviously it's going to be tough. And that's why the money, the plus 1100 for the top 6 is where it is. But I mean, you just got to look at where he is. I know it's a totally different ride, right? But I mean, like I said, an average finish here of just over 3. That's really, really good. I definitely think he'll get top 10. So I think you'll win that plus 125. And I really think he can. Best finish this year is 8th. Can you make up 2 spots and finish top 6? I think so, at a favorable track. I don't have down. Let's see. Where did he start on the grid last year? So he finished. Wow. Okay. So he finished 2nd, started 11th on the grid. So I mean, that might be tough. But again, I mean, I think that this is one of his best tracks overall in terms of average finish. He's never won here. But again, I definitely think that's something you should be looking at. So again, I'll go from top to bottom. So I think Max is going to win this thing. But I think you definitely should both. One of Max or Charles is going to win this thing. Yuki top 10, a Sergio Perez podium, and a Sebastian Vettel top 6 and top 10. Those are what I'm thinking. Those are the best bets and drivers to watch for this weekend in Azerbaijan at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix this Sunday. Early start for you East Coast United States folk, 7 a.m., I believe. So make sure you get those bets in probably Saturday night if you can. Wow, that's 4 a.m. if you're on the West Coast. Oh, man, that is rough. But anywho, you can always tape it and watch it after, but definitely get those bets in Saturday night. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys like this. Again, it's different, but it's something that I want to start doing, and I want to start to build a community for Formula One here. Yeah, so again, thanks for watching. Make sure you give this video a like and subscribe for more of my content. Thanks.